They held me down while I screamed for my baby. My mother-in-law's nails dug into my arms. My father-in-law barked orders to security guards. And somewhere upstairs, my husband was reading bedtime stories to another woman's child, while strangers dragged me toward a car that would take everything from me 3 days later. I woke in a hospital bed, empty. The baby I'd carried for 7 months, starved, stressed, fighting to survive in that dark basement room, was gone.
Welcome to Airless's Romance Stories. Read the entire novel in one go. Message or comment to tell me what kind of story you'd like to read. Subscribe to the channel for daily updates. Airless reminds you, the story begins now.
The fluorescent lights of the fertility clinic hummed overhead as I sat in the waiting room, my hand resting protectively on my 7-month belly. My baby kicked, a gentle reminder that despite everything falling apart, I still had someone who needed me. Then I heard her laugh. Through the half-open door of exam room 3, I saw them, Marcus, my husband of 2 years, pressing his ear against another woman's pregnant stomach. Vanessa Chen, his ex-girlfriend, the one he supposedly moved on from when we got married. Marcus, feel it, the baby's moving. Vanessa's voice was bright with excitement, her hand covering his. He looked up, smiling that tender smile I thought belonged only to me. Our eyes met. The smile died on his lips. Lily, I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. He rushed toward me, grabbing my arm. Lily, wait, let go of me. My voice came out shaky, barely above a whisper. Let me explain, Vanessa's baby isn't mine. The tears came before I could stop them, hot and shameful against my cheeks. Lily, please don't cry. His hands framed my face. You have to believe me, I've been faithful to you. Her baby isn't mine. He tried to pull me into his arms, but Vanessa interrupted, walking over with a pitiful expression that looked rehearsed. Marcus, you promised to keep this a secret. You promised to be this baby's father. She touched her belly deliberately. How can you tell her the truth? Marcus wiped my tears with his thumb, then turned to Vanessa. Lily is my wife. She has the right to know. Then let's tell her the whole truth. Vanessa's smile turned cruel. Let her know that for the sake of your reputation, the baby in her belly has to be considered illegitimate, for now. The words hit me like a physical blow. What? I stared at Marcus, confusion and rage replacing my sadness. What does she mean? I am sorry, Lily, Marcus stammered. Vanessa's unmarried. If the board finds out she is pregnant without a husband, they'll force her out of Chen Industries. Her father would disown her. I have to help her. Then what about our child? I screamed. Are you going to abandon our own baby just to play father to hers? Calm down and listen. Marcus gripped my shoulders. I am next in line for CEO. If the board finds out I got 2 women pregnant, one my wife, one my ex, they could strip me of everything my family built. So for now, we have to tell people your baby came from someone else. I couldn't process what I was hearing. You are going to sacrifice my reputation? Tell everyone my child is illegitimate? I struggled to break free from his grip. Lily, I've never cheated on you. Can't you make this one sacrifice for me and Vanessa? I promise. Once I am CEO, I'll make this right. I'll claim our baby publicly. He won't be illegitimate forever. I shook my head, laughing bitterly through my tears. If you truly loved me, Marcus, you wouldn't put my reputation at stake. You would have protected it. We'd been together for 2 years since a mutual friend introduced us at a charity gala. Marcus Wellington. Heir to Wellington Tech. Handsome, successful. Everything I'd been told to want. I should have known better. He'd never introduced me to his parents. Never posted about me on social media. Always had an excuse for why we should wait before having a proper wedding ceremony. Now, I knew why. Our argument had drawn a crowd of other patients and nurses, all staring. I'll take you home, Marcus said, putting his arm around my shoulder as he walked me toward the exit. Vanessa followed and boldly slid into the front passenger seat of his BMW. We noticed the cashmere cushion on the seat, cream, colored, expensive, with her initials embroidered in gold thread. Marcus got this specially made for me, so I'd be comfortable during the drive, Vanessa said, stroking it lovingly. Stop talking, Marcus snapped at her. Don't scold me, the baby might get scared. Vanessa pouted, her hand flying to her stomach dramatically. Marcus actually softened his voice. "It is only a 3-month fetus, Vanessa. It can't hear us yet." I silently watched their interaction and closed the car door. On the drive to our Riverside Drive penthouse, Marcus kept trying to explain. "Lily, Vanessa's father, is one of our major investors. He has always been strict with her. If I don't claim this baby as mine, he'll force her to terminate the pregnancy. Vanessa wants to keep this baby. We have to help her." "Then let her terminate it," I said coldly, staring out the window at the passing buildings. "Why should my husband be the father of her child?" Vanessa's voice broke as she started crying. "Don't be sad, Vanessa." Marcus immediately comforted her. "I promise I'll protect you and the baby." Then he glared at me through the rearview mirror. "Lily, how can you be so cruel? 2 years ago, I broke Vanessa's heart to be with you. This time, I can't turn my back on her." Cruel, that is what he thought of me. I hastily wiped the tears from my face and took a deep breath. "Then just terminate the baby in my belly." Marcus slammed on the brakes, pulling over to the side of the road. He turned to face me, eyes blazing. "Are you insane? How could you even think that? I won't let go of either child, yours or Vanessa's." The next morning, I woke to unfamiliar sounds downstairs. When I descended the stairs, I saw Vanessa and her mother directing moving staff, carrying luggage into my home. As soon as Mrs. Chen saw me, she sneered. "Some people really have no shame. Getting pregnant with a bastard child, and still having the audacity to live with Marcus." She hugged Vanessa's shoulders. "You poor thing, you've suffered so much. Marcus still hasn't divorced this woman." "Mom, please stop." Vanessa lowered her head, playing the victim. This was my choice. As Mrs. Chen took luggage upstairs, Vanessa threw me a mocking smile. "So what if you are Marcus's wife? So what if my child isn't his? My place in his heart is far higher than yours." I stared at her for a long moment. Then I slapped her hard across the face. Vanessa clutched her reddening cheek, squeezing out tears, and looked past me toward the doorway. "Lily, why are you treating me like this? I am not trying to steal Marcus from you." "Lily." Marcus's voice thundered from behind me. I turned to see him, fury contorting his features. Vanessa cried louder, drawing her mother's attention. Mrs. Chen glared at me viciously. "This woman cheated on you. She got pregnant with another man's child. Why haven't you divorced her yet? As long as she is here, my Vanessa won't be safe." "Yes, Marcus." Vanessa threw herself into his arms, sobbing. "Mom is right." Between her tears, she gave me the smallest, smuggiest smile. Marcus stayed silent for a long time. Just when Vanessa thought her plan was succeeding, he gently pushed her away and walked to my side. "If you want, you can take Vanessa home, but I won't ask my wife to leave." Vanessa looked at us in shock. "You've hurt my daughter, Marcus." Mrs. Chen's voice was sharp. "This isn't over. She is bearing your child. She deserves to feel loved. I demand you at least give her the master bedroom." Marcus looked at me. I understood immediately. He was asking me to sacrifice again. That evening, I was moved to a small room on the first floor. "It is just temporary," Marcus said, "just until Vanessa gives birth. I am trying to appease her and her mother. I'll give you back the master bedroom soon." I didn't argue. Honestly, I no longer cared where I slept. I was already planning my escape. Every day became a nightmare. Marcus hired a private nutritionist and personal trainer for Vanessa. She got fresh flowers delivered daily, a massage therapist, a prenatal yoga instructor. I got nothing. By my 8th month, I could barely walk without pain. The small room they'd moved me to was damp and cold. Sometimes I'd wake up struggling to breathe. But when I tried to ask Vanessa for help, tried to appeal to whatever humanity she might have, she only laughed. "Lily, you really don't understand Marcus and me. We grew up together. We have an unbreakable bond. Why would I help you leave?" One night, Marcus came to my room late. I pretended to be asleep. "I know you are awake," he said softly, sitting on the edge of the bed. I didn't respond. "Do you really hate me this much now? Do you really not trust my love for you?" His voice was thick with pain, but I felt nothing except exhaustion. "After everything you've done to me, how can you expect me to believe you?" I kept my voice steady, hiding the tears. "Don't worry, I'll carry our child to term. But you should know that locking me here isn't good for the baby. Let me breathe fresh air. Give me back my phone. Let me call my mother. I need someone to talk to. Marcus slid behind me, pulling me against his chest. All right, as long as you are calm and resting, I'll let you do whatever you want. His tone held a hint of relief, maybe even excitement. I came from nothing. My father left when I was 3. My mother worked 2 jobs to keep us afloat. We lived in a 1-bedroom apartment in Queens, where the heating barely worked and the neighbors fought every night. When Marcus chose me, when he told his wealthy family that I was the one, I thought love could overcome everything. I thought I'd finally be safe. That night, Marcus stayed with me. Although the lingering scent of Vanessa's expensive perfume on his clothes made me nauseous, I didn't refuse him. The next morning, he was in a good mood. He kissed my forehead. The 2 most important women in my life can finally get along. I am grateful to you, Lily. I promise I'll make it up to you in the future. After breakfast, he returned my phone and allowed me to walk in the garden, accompanied by the security guards he'd stationed around our home. The first thing I did was call my mother. Marcus didn't know that my mother had remarried this year, to James Morrison, a successful real estate developer. We weren't alone anymore, and with his help, I would soon be leaving this place. In the following weeks, I coexisted with Vanessa as peacefully as I could manage. But by her 8th month, Vanessa experienced complications. Abnormal fetal positioning. The doctor said she needed to go to Mount Sinai Hospital for specialized care, or it could be dangerous. Marcus immediately packed bags to take her. I curled up in the corner of my small room, my hands resting on my swollen belly, feeling weak and dizzy. You shouldn't keep pretending to be strong, a voice in my head whispered. If he leaves with her, you might not survive this. No, I whispered back. I have to endure this. I have to. Before he left, Marcus glanced at me, his face exhausted, but showing a flicker of concern. Are you okay? I didn't answer. Lily, I'll be back before our child is born. Vanessa's situation is urgent. When I return, I'll be with you 24/7. I wanted to stand up, wanted to tell him that I needed him too, that our baby and I needed care. But my pride stopped me, so I forced a smile and nodded. Marcus stared at me, surprised. He probably didn't expect me to let him leave so easily. He stood frozen until Vanessa called his name. Then, suddenly, he rushed to me and held me tightly. I am not leaving you, okay? His voice was frantic. I'll have my assistant stay here to take care of you. My heart skipped. For one brief moment, I felt loved again. But then I remembered, this was the same man who'd let Vanessa move into our home. The same man who'd asked me to pretend our baby was illegitimate. You should go with Vanessa, I whispered. If anything happens to her child, you'll feel guilty forever. Or you'll blame me forever, I thought, but didn't say. Marcus slowly released me and walked toward Vanessa. Just as he was about to get in the car, the housekeeper called out, Mr. Wellington, please let Mrs. Wellington move back to the master bedroom. The room she is in now is too damp. It is not good for the baby. Before Marcus could answer, Vanessa interjected. That won't work. I'll be moving back soon. How can she take my room? I don't want to move, I told Marcus. His face lit up with relief. I'll buy you a new house when I return. I am sorry for making you suffer. Then he got in the car and drove away with Vanessa. After Marcus left, I forced my weak body to endure the pain and started packing my belongings. I glanced at my watch. 6 hours until my mother and James would send someone to pick me up. I called my mother. I am afraid it won't be easy. There are security guards everywhere. Lily, don't worry. A stern, middle-aged man's voice came through the phone, James. I'll handle this. You'll be my daughter from now on. I won't let anyone hurt you again. I'd never met my mother's new husband, but his words gave me strength. Just after I hung up, Mrs. Wellington, Marcus's mother, barged into my room, along with Marcus's father and Mrs. Chen. Each of them looked at me with pure disdain. You, a nobody, dare to deceive Marcus and get pregnant with a bastard? Mrs. Wellington hissed. How dare you stay in our home? If it were me, I'd make sure everyone knew and ruin her reputation. Mrs. Chen added, making Mrs. Wellington even angrier. She stormed over and slapped me hard across the face. The housekeeper tried to shield me. Mrs. Wellington is very weak right now. Mr. Wellington instructed me to take good care of her. You can't hit her." But Mrs. Wellington shoved the housekeeper aside, sending her tumbling to the floor. That fool Marcus, still thinking about taking care of her and her bastard child. How did I give birth to such a useless son? Mr. Wellington, CEO of Wellington Tech, stepped forward. As a nobody, becoming my son's wife was an honor for you, yet you are ungrateful and pregnant with a bastard. Remember this, neither our family nor our company will ever accept this child of yours. He ordered the security guards beside him. Take her to the hospital to terminate the pregnancy, then expel her. They grabbed my arms. I struggled desperately. No, let go of me. I was terrified for my baby's safety. The housekeeper tried to help me, pleading. Mrs. Wellington is already 8 months pregnant. Her body is very weak. If you force her to terminate, she'll die. And the child in my belly is Marcus's, not a bastard. It is Vanessa's child who is illegitimate. I tried to defend myself, but my words only earned me another slap. How dare you lie? Marcus himself admitted that Vanessa's child is his. You are not just shameless, you are a liar. No, it is not true. I shook my head desperately, but they taped my mouth shut, not giving me a chance to explain. Didn't you once want to terminate this pregnancy? I thought bitterly. Why are you so sad now? Tears streamed down my face as my consciousness began to fade. Then a voice broke through the chaos. Stop. Who dares to touch my daughter? When I woke up, I was lying in a hospital bed with 2 people standing beside me. Thinking it was Marcus's parents, I began screaming. Let go of me, let go. Lily, you are finally awake. My mother's voice pierced through my panic. I realized it was my mother and James. Mom. My voice was hoarse. She bent down to stroke my face, her eyes red and swollen. Lily, you need to rest. I'll make those people pay for what they've done. My baby. I suddenly remembered, panic flooding through me. Where is my baby? I touched my belly. The place that had been swollen now felt empty, hollow. They killed my baby. He was so small, I cried, struggling to sit up. Don't do this, Lily, please. My mother gently pushed me back down. You are still young, sweetheart. You'll have another chance. Number. I choked out, clutching her shirt. I loved my child. I want him back. My mother wiped her tears. It is all my fault. I should have come for you earlier. When we found you, those monsters were restraining you. James saved you, but you'd already lost so much blood. We rushed you to the hospital, and your baby was born prematurely. The doctors tried to save him for 3 days, but she couldn't finish. The doctors said it was because of malnutrition and stress during your pregnancy. The baby was too weak. They did everything they could. So Marcus was one of the culprits too, James said, his voice hard. He was right. If Marcus hadn't brought Vanessa into our home, my child wouldn't have been so weak. I collapsed into my mother's arms, crying, trying to find some small reserve of strength. Because of the premature birth and excessive blood loss, I was dangerously weak. The doctor advised me to rest in the hospital for 2 weeks. Though I desperately wanted to leave immediately, I stayed. During my hospital stay, Marcus never called. I doubted he even knew what had happened. I'd completely given up on him. The love had been replaced by pure hatred. On the day I was discharged, my mother and James accompanied me back to the penthouse to collect my belongings. The drive through Manhattan felt surreal. 2 weeks ago, I'd been rushed to the hospital in an ambulance, bleeding and barely conscious. Now I was returning as a completely different person, hollowed out, emptied of the naive hope I'd once carried. When we arrived at the building, I saw decorations being unloaded from a van, balloons, streamers, a banner that read, "Welcome, Baby Wellington." My hands trembled. Lily, you don't have to go up there, my mother said gently, squeezing my hand. James can send someone to get your things. Number, my voice came out stronger than I felt. I need to do this myself. I need to see it end. The elevator ride felt eternal. Each floor that passed was a memory. The 10th floor where Marcus first kissed me, the 15th where he proposed, the 20th where I'd told him I was pregnant, and he'd lifted me up, spinning me around with joy. All lies, all illusions. The penthouse door was already open. Inside, Mrs. Wellington and Mrs. Chen were directing staff, arranging furniture and decorations for what looked like an elaborate celebration. A party for their grandchild, Vanessa's child. The child that had stolen my baby's life. When Mrs. Wellington saw me, her face twisted with disgust. She didn't even have the decency to look ashamed. "Your things are there." She pointed coldly to 2 battered suitcases by the door. The cheap ones I'd brought when I first moved in, back when I thought love could overcome class differences. Everything Marcus had bought me, every gift, every piece of jewelry, gone. They'd stripped me of everything except the clothes I'd arrived with 2 years ago. James was beside me in an instant, his face dark with fury. He walked inside, his voice echoing through the penthouse. "My daughter just lost her child, and you still have the nerve to plan a party." Everyone froze. The decorators stopped mid-motion. The caterers looked uncomfortable. Mrs. Wellington's face remained impassive. "Her child has nothing to do with us, Alpha James. I am letting Lily off easy because of you. Otherwise, with her carrying a bastard child, I wouldn't let her leave so peacefully." She paused, then added with deliberate cruelty, "And we had no hand in killing her child. She is weak, inferior genetics. That is why she had a premature birth. Some women just aren't built to carry healthy babies." The words hit me like physical blows. Inferior genetics, not built to carry healthy babies. My mother's sharp intake of breath told me she'd heard it too. But it was James who moved first. He crossed the room in 3 strides and slapped Mrs. Wellington so hard her head snapped to the side. The sound echoed through the suddenly silent penthouse. "How dare you!" Mr. Wellington appeared from the study, surrounded by security guards. "You assault my wife in our own home?" "Your wife?" James's voice was dangerously quiet. "Your wife tortured my daughter for months. Your wife ordered her own grandchild to be killed, and you talk to me about assault." I watched the scene unfold as if from a great distance. Part of me wanted to scream, to rage, to destroy everything in this penthouse that had witnessed my suffering. But another part of me, the part that had survived the past 8 months, just wanted to leave. Before James could escalate further, I touched his arm. "I just want to leave. I never want to see them again." My voice was calm, almost eerily so. Mrs. Wellington laughed, a harsh, bitter sound. "Of course you want to leave. You got what you came for, didn't you? 2 years of living in luxury, wearing expensive clothes, eating expensive food, and all you had to do was open your legs." "Enough." The voice came from the doorway. Marcus stood there, and for a moment, I didn't recognize him. His hair was disheveled, his eyes bloodshot and wild. He wore the same suit from 2 weeks ago, now wrinkled and stained. Beside him stood Vanessa, holding a baby wrapped in a blue blanket. The same blue blanket that should have been my son's. Marcus's eyes went immediately to my stomach, to the flat, empty space where his child had been. "Lily," his voice cracked. "Weren't you still weeks away from your due date, did you? Did you deliver prematurely?" I couldn't speak, couldn't move. The sight of that baby in Vanessa's arms, the baby that had cost me everything, made something break inside me. "Answer me," Marcus's voice rose to a shout. "Where is our child?" I turned away, linking my arm with my mother's, heading toward the exit. But Marcus grabbed me, his fingers digging into my wrist. "Lily, I am asking you a question. Where is our child? What did you do? What did I do?" The accusation in his voice, as if this was somehow my fault, ignited a rage I didn't know I possessed. "Let go of her." James shoved Marcus so hard he stumbled backward. "You are Marcus Wellington? My daughter's biggest misfortune was meeting a pathetic excuse for a man like you." "Who the hell are you?" Marcus steadied himself, his eyes wild and confused. "Lily doesn't have a father, her father abandoned." "Her father is standing right here," James said coldly, "and unlike you, I know how to protect my family." Marcus looked between James and me, realization slowly dawning. When did you?" He shook his head as if to clear it. "It doesn't matter. Where is our baby, Lily? Tell me where you hid our child." The words hung in the air. Then Mrs. Wellington's voice, sharp and satisfied. "That bastard is dead." Time seemed to stop. Marcus swayed on his feet as if he'd been struck. "What?" "Dead," Mrs. Wellington repeated, enunciating each word with vicious clarity. "The illegitimate child is gone. Finally, number." Marcus's face drained of color. He looked at me, desperate, pleading. "Lily, Tell me she is lying. Tell me this isn't true, please. I should have felt satisfaction seeing him crumble, should have felt vindicated. Instead, I felt nothing. It is true, I said quietly, my voice devoid of emotion. The baby is dead. Everything is over between us. But even as I said the words, my eyes betrayed me, filling with tears as I thought of the child I'd never get to meet. The son who'd kicked so strongly in my belly, the baby who'd moved whenever he heard my voice. Gone. Mrs. Chen, oblivious or uncaring, walked over to Marcus with Vanessa's baby. Theo, this is your real son. That bastard child is gone, so forget about it. This is the heir to Wellington Tech. Shut up. Marcus's roar made everyone jump. Just shut the hell up, Alabama Lellevue. He pushed Mrs. Chen away so violently that she nearly dropped the baby. Only Mr. Wellington's quick reflexes saved the infant from hitting the marble floor. Mr. Wellington caught the baby, then stepped forward and slapped Marcus across the face. This is the heir to our family. How could you treat your own child like this? You've been completely blinded by that woman. Marcus sat down hard on the floor. Then, to everyone's shock, he started laughing. A horrible, broken sound that sent chills down my spine. He laughed so hard that tears streamed down his face, mixing with what might have been sobs. My child? Marcus looked up at his father, his expression wild and shattered. This child isn't mine. Vanessa doesn't even know who the father is. I was only helping her by saying it was my child. The room went deathly silent. Marcus's eyes found mine across the distance. Didn't Lily tell you? The child in Lily's belly was mine, my own blood, the only child I'll ever have, and you killed him. Mrs. Wellington's face went pale. How? That is impossible, you told us. I lied. Marcus's voice broke. I lied to protect Vanessa because I was weak and stupid, and I thought I could fix everything. I thought I could save everyone. He turned to Vanessa, who had gone white as a sheet. Marcus grabbed her shoulders, shaking her. Tell them, Vanessa. Tell everyone the truth. Tell them your child is the bastard, not Lily's. You promised. You promised me you'd tell the truth once I became CEO. Say it, say it. Everyone waited, the tension thick enough to cut. Vanessa's eyes filled with tears. She clutched the baby tighter. Marcus, what are you talking about? This is your child. You can't make me say something that isn't true. Liar. Marcus grabbed her arm, pulling her toward the door. Fine, if you won't tell the truth, we'll get a paternity test right now. Everyone will finally know who the real bastard is. But Vanessa wrenched free and fell to her knees, the baby wailing in her arms. I won't go. Marcus, please. You promised you'd be this child's father. You promised to take care of him forever. How can you do this to us? Mrs. Wellington clutched her chest, her face crumbling as the full weight of the truth hit her. The premature baby was our grandchild? Our real grandchild? She turned on Marcus with fury. You lied to us about something so important? You let us kill our own grandson? Mr. Wellington grabbed Marcus's collar, shaking him. You foolish boy, what have you done? Mrs. Wellington whirled on Vanessa, her previous affection transformed into pure hatred. She kicked Vanessa hard, making her cry out. Guards, throw this whore and her bastard out. Out of my home, now. I watched the scene unfold, the family tearing itself apart, the truth finally destroying them from within. I should have felt victorious. Instead, I just felt tired. Mother, I whispered, can we leave now? She nodded, her arm around my shoulders, silently leading me toward the door, but Marcus broke free from his father and ran after us. Please, Lily, don't leave me. This is your home. I stopped, turned to face him one last time. Home, I laughed, and it came out bitter and broken. I didn't even have a decent room here anymore. You gave my room to her, Marcus. You gave everything to her, and now you want to call this home? I'll make it right. Marcus's face was desperate, pleading. I'll buy you 10 houses, 100 houses. I'll spend the rest of my life making this up to you. Just please, don't leave. If you still have even a shred of love or sympathy for Lily, James interrupted, his voice hard as steel. You should let her go now. You and your family have already destroyed her. Don't make her suffer anymore. Marcus's shoulders sagged. He looked at me with such profound devastation that despite everything, I felt a small flicker of pity. We'd shared something once. In the beginning, his love had seemed real, but I'd learned the hardest way possible that seeming and being were two very different things. I turned away and got into the car, not looking back as James drove us away from the penthouse, away from Marcus Wellington, away from the ruins of my old life. In the rearview mirror, I saw Marcus collapse to his knees on the sidewalk, his head in his hands. Behind him, his parents were still screaming at each other. Vanessa was being dragged out by security guards, the baby crying in her arms. The whole beautiful facade had finally crumbled. "Are you all right?" my mother asked softly. I touched my empty stomach and felt the ghost of a kick that would never come again. "No," I answered honestly, "but I will be." The drive to James's estate in Greenwich took an hour, but it felt like crossing into another world. As we passed through the iron gates and up the tree-lined driveway, I saw the main house, a sprawling Georgian manor that looked like something from a storybook. Manicured gardens stretched in every direction. A fountain sparkled in the afternoon sun. It was beautiful, but all I could think about was the tiny room in the Wellington penthouse, dark and damp, with a single small window that barely let in light. The room where I'd spent 5 months slowly losing hope. "Welcome home, Lily," James said as the car stopped in front of the main entrance. Home, the word felt foreign. I'd thought the penthouse was home once. I'd been wrong about so many things. My mother helped me out of the car. I was still weak, my body recovering from the trauma of premature delivery and blood loss. Every step hurt, but I forced myself to walk without assistance. I needed to be strong now, for myself, for the baby I'd lost. Inside, the house was warm and welcoming. Staff members greeted us with genuine smiles, so different from the cold, judging stares of the Wellington household staff. James led me up a sweeping staircase to the second floor. "I had this room prepared for you," he said, opening a door at the end of the hall. I stepped inside and froze. The room was huge, easily 3 times the size of the small room I'd been confined to. Large windows overlooked the gardens, letting in streams of golden afternoon light. A king-sized bed with soft white linens, a sitting area with a fireplace, a private bathroom with a clawfoot tub. But what made my breath catch was the balcony, a wide, beautiful space with wrought iron furniture and potted flowers. "I thought you might like a place where you can breathe fresh air," James said quietly. "Read, think, heal." My eyes filled with tears. "James, this is too much. It is not nearly enough." He put a gentle hand on my shoulder. "You are my daughter now, Lily, and I take care of my family." After James left, I stood on the balcony and let myself cry, really cry. For the first time since waking up in the hospital, I cried for my baby. For the future I'd lost. For the naive girl who'd believed love could conquer everything. And I cried with relief that I'd finally escaped. That night, I couldn't sleep. At 2 a.m., I sat at the desk in my room and opened my laptop. There were 47 missed calls from Marcus 23 voicemails. Dozens of text messages. I opened the first voicemail. "Lily, please call me back. I am begging you, I didn't know. I swear I didn't know what my parents did. If I'd known, I never would have left you. Please, Lily, please." His voice was broken, desperate. I deleted it and opened the next one. "I went to the hospital where they took you. The doctors wouldn't tell me anything. Lily, was it a boy or a girl? Our baby. I need to know. I need to know about our child. Please, delete. I am standing outside James Morrison's estate. The guards won't let me in. I'll wait here. I'll wait forever if I have to. Just please talk to me, please, Lily. Delete." I went through all 23 voicemails mechanically, deleting each one. Then I opened the text messages. "Lily, I love you. I've always loved you. I know, I don't deserve forgiveness, but I am begging for a chance to explain. My mother has been arrested. My father kicked me out. Wellington Tech is falling apart. None of it matters. All that matters is you. Please tell me about our baby. Was he healthy? Did he suffer? I need to know. It is killing me not knowing. I think about you every second. I can't eat, can't sleep. I see your face everywhere. I am sorry. I am so fucking sorry. I would give anything, to take it back." I read them all. Felt nothing. Then I blocked his number and closed my laptop. The next morning, my mother woke me gently. "Somebody sent you flowers." I came downstairs to find the entrance hall filled with bouquets, not just one or two, dozens, tulips, roses, lilies, orchids. The scent was overwhelming. "There is a card," my mother said, handing it to me. I opened it with trembling fingers. "Lily tulips for the first day. I'll send you flowers every day for the rest of my life, if that is what it takes. Let me pursue you again. Let me prove I can be the man you deserved from the beginning. Let me love you the way I should have loved you, please." Marcus, I stared at the card for a long moment. Then I tore it into tiny pieces. "What should I do with the flowers?" my mother asked gently. "Give them to the staff, or donate them to a hospital. I don't care, just, I don't want to see them." My mother nodded, understanding in her eyes. Over the next week, flowers arrived every morning. Each time with a new card, new promises, new apologies. I stopped reading them. On the 8th day, James found me in the library. I'd been sitting there for hours, staring at the same page of a book without really seeing it. "Lily, I want to ask you something." He sat down across from me. "What do you want to do now? Not what you think you should do, or what anyone expects. What do you want?" I thought about it carefully. "I want to finish my nursing degree," I finally said. Before Marcus, I was studying at Columbia. I loved it. Learning how to help people, how to save lives, it made me feel purposeful. "Then that is what you'll do," James said simply. "But Marcus's family, they made me drop out when we got married. They said it wasn't appropriate for a Wellington wife to work. That my job was to support Marcus and eventually raise children." My voice broke on the last word. James leaned forward, his expression fierce. "You are not a Wellington wife anymore. You are my daughter, and my daughter can be anything she wants to be." Hope flickered in my chest, small and fragile, but real. "I don't know if they'll take me back. I dropped out in the middle of semester. My grades were good, but—" "Let me make some calls," James said with a slight smile. "I have some connections at Columbia." A week later, I received an acceptance letter from Columbia's School of Nursing. I held the envelope with shaking hands, reading the words over and over. "We are pleased to inform you that your application for readmission has been approved." My mother found me crying in my room, clutching the letter. "Happy tears?" she asked, sitting beside me on the bed. "I don't know," I admitted. "I am happy, but I am also terrified. What if I can't do it? What if I am not strong enough? What if, Lily?" My mother cupped my face in her hands. "You survived the past 8 months. You survived losing your child. You survived leaving the man you loved. If you can survive all that, you can do anything." I leaned into her embrace, letting her comfort me the way she had when I was a child. "I am so proud of you," she whispered. "Your baby would be proud of you too." That night, I wrote in the journal my mother had given me, "Dear baby, I don't know if you are watching over me from wherever souls go. I hope you are. I hope you know how much I loved you, how much I still love you. I am sorry I couldn't protect you. I am sorry your father and I failed you. I am sorry you never got to take your first breath, see your first sunrise, feel the warmth of being held. I am going back to school. I am going to become a nurse, and every life I save, every person I help, I'll be doing it for you. Your short life won't be meaningless. I'll make sure of that. I love you. I'll always love you." Mom classes started in January. The first day, I stood outside the nursing school building, my heart pounding. Students streamed past me, most of them younger, excited, unburdened by the kind of grief I carried. I almost turned around, almost got back in the car and told the driver to take me home. But then I thought of my baby, of the life he'd never get to live. And I walked through those doors. The coursework was intense: anatomy, physiology, pharmacology, clinical skills. I threw myself into studying with an almost desperate focus. When I was memorizing drug interactions or practicing IV insertion, I didn't think about the empty space in my arms. I didn't hear the phantom cries of a baby who never got to cry. My classmates tried to befriend me, but I kept my distance. How could I explain what I'd been through? How could I sit in the cafeteria laughing about boys and parties when I'd buried a child? But slowly, gradually, I began to heal. There was Maria, a single mother in her 30s who'd gone back to school after her divorce. She didn't pry into my past, just offered companionship and understanding. There was Dr. Chen, my clinical instructor, who saw something in me. Maybe the desperation to help others, to find meaning in suffering, and took me under her wing. And there was the work itself. The first time I successfully started an IV on an elderly patient, the first time I helped deliver medication that eased someone's pain, the first time a patient thanked me for my care. Each small victory felt like rebuilding myself piece by piece. But Marcus didn't give up. The flowers continued, every single day. Sometimes they came with jewelry, designer handbags, expensive gifts I didn't want and immediately donated. Once, a card came with a single sentence. I went to our baby's grave. My hand shook as I read it. I hadn't known Marcus knew where the baby was buried. James had arranged everything privately. The card continued. I brought him a teddy bear. I know it is stupid. I know he is gone. But I needed to do something. I needed to tell him I am sorry. I am so sorry I wasn't there to protect him, to protect you both. I burned that card in the fireplace and watched the ashes float away. In March, I came home from clinical rotation to find my mother and James in the living room, their expressions serious. What is wrong? I asked immediately. James sighed. Marcus has been calling me multiple times a day. He wants to see you. Number, he says he has something important to tell you, something about Vanessa. I don't care. I kept my voice flat. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. That part of my life is over. My mother exchanged a glance with James. Lily, sweetie, he also said. He said he has information about your baby, about what really happened that day. My blood ran cold. What do you mean, what really happened? He wouldn't tell me over the phone, James said carefully. He insists on speaking to you directly, but Lily, you don't have to. I want to know. The words came out before I could stop them. I need to know exactly what happened, every detail. James nodded slowly. All right. But we do this on your terms, my office, my territory, and I'll be there with you. 3 days later, I walked into James's office building in downtown Manhattan. Marcus was already there, waiting in the conference room. When I entered, he stood up so quickly he knocked over his chair. He looked terrible. He'd lost weight, maybe 20 pounds. His expensive suit hung loose on his frame. His hair was too long and unkempt, but it was his eyes that shocked me most, hollow and haunted, with dark circles underneath. Lily, my name came out like a prayer. Thank you for coming. Thank you. This isn't a reunion, Marcus. I sat down at the opposite end of the table, James beside me. You said you have information about my baby. Tell me. Marcus's face crumpled, but he composed himself. He pushed a folder across the table. I hired a private investigator, he said quietly, to find out exactly what happened that day. I needed to know. I needed. His voice broke. I opened the folder with trembling hands. Inside were medical records, witness statements, security footage timestamps. My mother knew, Marcus said, his voice hollow. She'd known for weeks that you were pregnant with my child. Not a bastard. Mine, she'd overheard me on the phone with my lawyer, discussing changing my will to include the baby. I felt ice spread through my veins. She knew, Marcus repeated. And she planned it. Everything. She waited until I left with Vanessa. Then she came to the house with my father and Mrs. Chen. The security footage shows them arriving together, coordinated. He pointed to a document in the folder. This is the coroner's report for our son. His name. I named him. I hope that is okay, Thomas James Wellington, after my grandfather and your stepfather. My vision blurred with tears. Thomas showed signs of trauma consistent with forced early labor. Marcus continued. His voice mechanical, as if reciting facts was the only way he could get through this. The medical examiner said if you'd been allowed to carry him to term, he would have survived. He was strong, perfect, but they induced labor at 7 months, and his lungs weren't developed enough. Stop, I whispered. But Marcus kept going, unable to stop now that he'd started. My mother gave the doctors at the private clinic specific instructions: induce labor. If the baby survived, do not resuscitate. If you died in the process, well, that would solve the problem too, wouldn't it? James slammed his hand on the table. That is enough. No, I said, my voice surprisingly steady. I need to hear it. All of it. Marcus looked at me with such devastation. You almost died, Lily. You lost so much blood. The doctors at the hospital James took you to said another hour and you would have been gone too. My mother tried to kill you both. The room spun. Where is she now? I asked. Jail, awaiting trial for attempted murder and criminally negligent homicide. My father is trying to make a deal, but James has made sure the DA won't drop the charges. I looked at James. He nodded confirmation. What about Vanessa? I heard myself ask. Marcus's expression hardened. Gone, once everyone knew the truth about the baby. Her father disowned her. Last I heard, she moved to California. I don't care. She was just another person I was too weak to stand up to. He leaned forward, desperate. Lily, I know, I don't deserve forgiveness. I know I destroyed everything, but I need you to know. I loved Thomas. I love him. And I hate myself every second of every day for not protecting him, for not protecting you. I stood up, clutching the folder to my chest. Thank you for this information, I said formally. It will help with the legal proceedings. Lily, wait. Goodbye, Marcus. I walked out of that conference room and didn't look back. That night, I opened the folder again in the privacy of my room. There was a photograph I hadn't noticed before. At the very back. A tiny baby, perfectly formed. Eyes closed as if sleeping. So small he fit in the palm of a hand. Thomas, my son. I pressed the photograph to my chest and finally let myself break completely, sobbing so hard I couldn't breathe, screaming into my pillow so no one would hear. My mother found me hours later, exhausted and hoarse, still clutching the photo. She held me and rocked me like I was a child again. It is not fair, I whispered. He was innocent. He didn't deserve this. No, my mother agreed, tears streaming down her own face. He didn't, and neither did you. The next morning I woke with a strange sense of clarity. I'd spent months trying not to think about Thomas, trying to push away the grief and focus on moving forward. But maybe that was wrong. Maybe I needed to remember him, honor him. I found James in his study. Can you take me somewhere today? Of course. Where? To my son's grave. The cemetery was peaceful, rolling green hills dotted with headstones, old trees providing shade. James led me to a small plot in the children's section, a simple white marble headstone, Thomas James Wellington forever. In our hearts too beautiful for earth beneath the inscription was a carved image of a sleeping baby. I knelt in the grass, my hand touching the cold stone. Hi, baby, I whispered. I am sorry it took me so long to come. I was afraid that seeing this would make it too real. A breeze rustled through the trees and I imagined it was Thomas, letting me know he heard me. I am going to be okay, I told him. It is going to take time, but I am going to be okay, and I promise I'll live enough life for both of us. I'll be brave enough for both of us. I'll love enough for both of us. I stayed there for an hour, talking to my son, crying, sometimes just sitting in silence. When I finally stood to leave, I noticed something at the base of the headstone, a worn teddy bear, its fur dampened by recent rain. Marcus had been here, just like he said, despite everything. Despite all the hatred I should feel, I felt a small twinge of shared grief. We'd both lost Thomas, but only one of us deserved to mourn him. When Christmas approached, I decided to go home for the holidays instead of staying at the dorms. My mother and James had decorated the entire estate. A massive tree in the foyer, lights strung along the balconies, wreaths on every door. It should have been festive and joyful. Instead, it was my first Christmas without my baby. I helped my mother prepare Christmas dinner, grateful for the distraction of chopping vegetables and stirring sauces. As we worked, she told me news from the Wellington family, information her network of former servants had shared. Marcus's mother's trial is set for February, she said, rolling out pie dough. The prosecutors have a strong case, witness testimony, medical evidence, the security footage Marcus provided. I focused on mincing garlic, keeping my hands busy. What about Marcus? My mother hesitated. He is not doing well, honey. I don't care. I know. But I thought you should know. He has lost everything. His parents disowned him for testifying against his mother. The board voted him out of Wellington Tech completely. His uncle Nathan is CEO now. I should have felt satisfaction. Instead, I felt hollow. After Vanessa's scandal broke, my mother continued, several men came forward claiming to be the father of her baby. DNA tests confirmed it was some Wall Street trader she'd had a brief affair with. Vanessa's father was so humiliated he moved the family to Hong Kong. Good, I said, perhaps too harshly. My mother put down her rolling pin and looked at me seriously. Lily, I need to ask you something. Are you happy? The question caught me off guard. What? Are you happy, or are you just surviving? I thought about it carefully. I don't know if I'll ever be happy again, Mom. Not the way I was before, but I am. I am finding purpose. School gives me purpose. Helping patients gives me purpose. Maybe that is enough. It is not enough, my mother said gently. You deserve more than just purpose. You deserve joy, love, a full life. I had love, I reminded her. Look where it got me. You had the wrong love, she corrected. Marcus was weak and selfish. But not all men are like him. Not all love ends in betrayal. I thought of James, how he'd accepted me without question, how he protected me, how he'd given me a home and a family. Maybe you are right, I admitted. But I am not ready, not yet. That is fair, my mother said, squeezing my hand. Just promise me you won't close yourself off forever. When you are ready, allow yourself to be open to the possibility. By the time my mother and I finished preparing dinner, James had returned home. Lily, your mother and I have a special Christmas gift for you. He handed me an elegant gift box wrapped in silver paper. Inside was a stunning emerald green dress, silk designer, the kind of thing I'd never have bought for myself. It is beautiful, I breathed. There is more, James said, gesturing to the box. Beneath the dress was an embossed invitation. You are cordially invited to attend the acquisition ceremony of Wellington Tech by Morrison Holdings. I looked up sharply. You are acquiring Wellington Tech. James's smile was cold and satisfied. They've been bleeding money since Marcus's scandal. Investors pulling out, stock prices plummeting. They came to me begging for a buyout. How much are you paying? Pennies on the dollar, James said. By the time I am done, the Wellington family will have nothing. I should have felt victorious, should have celebrated their downfall. Instead, I felt tired. Will this bring Thomas back? James's smile faded. Number, but it will ensure they can never hurt anyone else the way they hurt you. My mother took my hand. You don't have to go to the ceremony if you don't want to. We can handle everything. But I shook my head. Number, I want to go. I want to look them in the eye one last time. I want them to see that they didn't break me. The week before the ceremony, I tried on the emerald dress. It fit perfectly, hugging my figure in all the right places. The color brought out my eyes, made my skin glow. I looked beautiful. I looked strong. I looked nothing like the broken girl who'd left the Wellington penthouse 6 months ago. You look stunning, my mother said from the doorway, tears in her eyes. I look like someone else, I replied, staring at my reflection. Like someone who never loved Marcus Wellington, never lost a baby, never had her heart shattered. You look like someone who survived, my mother corrected. There is a difference. The night before the ceremony, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about seeing Marcus again, about facing the family that had destroyed me. Would I cry? Would I rage? Would I feel anything at all? At 3 a.m., I gave up on sleep and went to my desk. I pulled out the journal and wrote, Tomorrow I go back to where it all fell apart. Tomorrow I face the man who chose someone else over me and our child. I don't know what I am supposed to feel, anger, triumph, satisfaction. Mostly I just feel sad. Sad for what could have been, sad for Thomas, who never got a chance. Sad for the girl I used to be who believed love conquered all. But I am also proud. Proud that I survived. Proud that I am building a new life. Proud that I am becoming someone my son would have been proud of. Tomorrow I close this chapter forever. And then I move forward. I have to believe that somewhere, somehow Thomas is watching over me, and he is telling me to be brave. So I will be. The day of the ceremony arrived cold and bright. I put on the emerald dress, styled my hair in an elegant updo, applied makeup carefully. Not too much, just enough to look polished and professional. Looking in the mirror, I barely recognized myself. The girl who'd lived in the Wellington penthouse had been soft, accommodating, desperate to please. The woman staring back at me was hard, guarded, self-possessed. "Ready?" James asked when I came downstairs. "As I'll ever be." The helicopter ride to Manhattan was surreal. I watched the city spread out beneath us, the place where I'd lost everything and begun to rebuild. When we landed on the roof of Wellington Tech headquarters, my heart was racing. "You can do this," I told myself. "You are stronger than they are. You survived." We took the elevator down to the main floor. Through the glass walls, I could see security preparing for the signing ceremony. And then I saw her. Vanessa, she was standing outside the building, looking thin and desperate. When she saw me approaching, she rushed forward. "Lily, please." Security moved to block her, but I held up a hand. "Let her speak." Vanessa grabbed my hands, her eyes wild and pleading. "Lily, I know I was wrong. I am so sorry. Please forgive me. Please don't destroy Marcus. Wellington Tech is everything to him." "It is not mine to destroy," I said calmly. "James is acquiring it. This is business." "But you could stop it." Vanessa's grip tightened. "You could tell James to back off. Please, Lily, I am begging you. Marcus has lost everything because of me. Don't take away the last thing he has left." I looked at her, really looked at her. The designer clothes were gone, replaced by cheap jeans and a worn coat. Her hair, once perfectly styled, was pulled back in a messy ponytail. Her makeup couldn't hide the dark circles under her eyes. She'd lost everything too. "Where is your baby?" I asked. Vanessa's face crumpled. "His father took him full custody. I only get supervised visits once a month because of what I did to you. They said I was unfit." "Good," I thought but didn't say. "I can't help you, Vanessa," I said, pulling my hands free. "This isn't about revenge. This is about moving forward, and I can't move forward while the Wellington family still has power." "Lily, please, goodbye, Vanessa." I walked past her into the building, not looking back even as I heard her crying my name. Inside, the conference room was set up for the signing. Lawyers on both sides, documents prepared. Photographers ready to capture the moment. And there, sitting at the table, was Marcus. He looked up when I entered, and the expression on his face, shock, hope, devastation, almost made me turn around and leave. But I'd come this far, I could finish this. "Lily," he breathed, you look beautiful." I didn't respond, taking a seat at the opposite end of the table beside James. Mr. Wellington was there too, looking decades older than the last time I'd seen him. His hands shook as he picked up a pen. "Let's get this over with," he muttered. The lawyers began reading through the terms of the acquisition. Morrison Holdings would purchase 89% of Wellington Tech's shares. The Wellington family would retain a nominal 11%, enough to save face, not enough to have any real power. Marcus would be removed from all positions. Nathan Wellington, his uncle, would remain as CEO under James's oversight. It was a complete gutting of everything the Wellington family had built over 3 generations. "If all parties are in agreement," the lead lawyer said, "we can proceed with signatures." Mr. Wellington signed first, his jaw clenched with barely contained rage. Then it was Marcus's turn. His hand trembled as he picked up the pen. He stared at the signature line for a long moment, then his eyes found mine across the table. "I am sorry," he mouthed silently. I looked away. Marcus signed. And just like that, it was done. But I still had one more thing to do. As everyone stood to leave, I remained seated. "Marcus, can I speak with you, privately?" He looked startled, but nodded immediately. "Of course, anything." James started to object, but I shook my head. "It is okay, I need to do this." After everyone else left, it was just Marcus and me in the conference room. "Thank you for agreeing to talk to me," Marcus said, sitting down across from me. "I've wanted to talk to you for months." "I am not here for your apologies," I interrupted. "I am here to officially end our marriage legally, finally, completely." I pulled papers from my bag and slid them across the table. Divorce papers. James's lawyers drew them up. "I am not asking for anything. No alimony, no assets, nothing. I just want this to be over." Marcus stared at the papers as if they were a death sentence. "Lily, please." Don't do this. We can fix this. I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you. You can't, I said simply. There is no fixing this, Marcus. You chose Vanessa over me. You chose your career over our child. You let your family torture me for months. Those aren't mistakes you make up for. Those are betrayals. I was weak, Marcus said, his voice breaking. I was stupid and weak, and I thought I could make everyone happy. I thought I could have it all, but I see now. I lost the only thing that mattered. Yes, I agreed. You did. Marcus reached across the table, but I pulled back before he could touch me. Please, he whispered. I love you. I've always loved you. I know I showed it in the worst possible way, but… You don't love me, I interrupted. You love the idea of me. You love having someone who depended on you, who looked up to you, who believed you were better than you actually are. That person doesn't exist anymore. I stood up, pushing the papers toward him. Sign them, Marcus. Let me go. And if I don't, if I refuse, then James will make your life even more miserable than it already is, I said bluntly. He has the resources and the motivation. Is that really what you want? Marcus stared at the papers for a long moment. Then, with shaking hands, he picked up a pen and signed. I forgive you, I said quietly. His head snapped up, hope blazing in his eyes. But that doesn't mean we can be together, I continued. Forgiveness doesn't erase what happened. It just means I am choosing not to carry hatred anymore. It is too heavy. I picked up the signed papers and tucked them back in my bag. Goodbye, Marcus. I hope you find a way to live with what you've done. I hope you become a better person. But most of all, I hope you never forget our son. I turned to leave, but Marcus's voice stopped me. Lily, wait. There is something I need you to know. I paused but didn't turn around. I visit Thomas's grave every week, Marcus said softly. I bring him flowers. I read to him. I tell him stories about you. About how strong you are, how beautiful, how you would have been the most amazing mother. I want him to know that even though I failed him, his mother never did. My eyes filled with tears, but I didn't let him see. Thank you for that, I said without turning around. Then I walked out of that conference room, out of Marcus Wellington's life, and toward my future. Outside the building, James and my mother were waiting by the helicopter. How did it go? My mother asked, searching my face. It is done, I said. It is finally done. As we lifted off, I looked down at the Wellington Tech building, at the life I'd left behind. I felt lighter than I had in months, in the sunlight streaming through the helicopter windows. I closed my eyes and imagined Thomas beside me. I did it, baby, I thought. I am free, and now I can finally start living again. When I opened my eyes, I saw James watching me with a strange expression. What? I asked. There is someone I want you to meet at the party this weekend, he said. His name is Nathan Wellington, Marcus's uncle. He is nothing like Marcus, I promise. He has actually been very supportive during the acquisition. I think you might like him. My mother shot James a look, but he ignored her. I am not ready to date anyone, I said firmly. I am not asking you to date him, James replied. Just meet him. Make a friend. You could use more friends, Lily. People who see you for who you are now, not who you used to be. I thought about it. Fine, I'll meet him, but that is all. James smiled mysteriously. That is all I am asking. As Manhattan disappeared behind us, I allowed myself a small smile, maybe. Just maybe, I was finally ready to start a new chapter. One without Marcus Wellington. One where I got to choose my own path. One where I was enough, just as I was. End.